Let's go. What is up, my friends, family? How are we doing today? I got all the updates. If you're wondering what the hell is going on with the US Strategic Reserve, I got it all for you. It's probably not going to be as great as we all think it could have been, but there's still a lot of hope out there. I just got to address some things. Man, I was in a heater earlier. I was trying to record a video with this information I'm about to show you. Literally, I recorded it 6 times because I was so frustrated. Anyways, you'll see what I'm talking about. Let's go. Let's say what's up to everyone in the chat. We got Sabrina in the chat. We got Menta Collect in the chat. Trump's crypto summit is exactly what the market should have expected. Very little. Content creators constantly pump things. Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. But I'm going to show you some shit why I thought a certain way. But I get what you're saying, man. I get what you're saying. Silver Days, what's up, man? Good to see you. XRP Army, Crypto Sensei, I love it. Subscribe. Thank you so much, man. Appreciate you. Welcome. Hunter, what a disappointment. Damn, so everybody knows. Okay, all right, all right. You know what? Let's just get into it, man. I appreciate everybody else here. Damn, we already have 409 people in the chat. All right, cool, guys. Do me a favor. If you like my content, if you want to see the channel doing better, please share. If you're on Twitter, share the space. If you're on YouTube, hit like. We'll get 1,000 people in here before you know it. It'll be a lot of fun. We got James in the chat, Sabrina, Tom, Zelfernines in the chat. What's up, Zelfernine? Good to see you, bud. Dwayne Smith. Yeah, man. All right, I see it. Okay, so check it out. All right, let me just put myself in a smaller box down here so you can see everything. Okay, so guys, this obviously didn't go the way we wanted it to go, but I will give you my unfiltered opinion of all this, but let me lay it out for you so we all have a good understanding of what we're actually experiencing right now. Okay, I know there's frustration. I know some of you are upset. Hold on one second. You want to come up? Come on. You want to come up? You're fine. Okay. So check it out. So this was put out yesterday. Yesterday, man, I felt so good. I literally recorded 7 videos. Some of that content's like rolling out today. So if you see some content today of me like bullish on the the reserve, it's amazing what like 12 hours can do to somebody, right? I was like up high on the mountain with the clouds. I was feeling good. And then like, I feel like shit today. So here you go. So David Sachs put this out yesterday. And when a lot of people read this, they were like, what the F, right? It says, so David Sachs, if you don't know, if you're just learning about this, David Sachs is the crypto czar. He's also the AI czar in the United States. Come on, you're okay. Come on. Luna's hearing some things outside we don't like. It's okay. All right, stay with me here. All right, so President Trump signed an executive order to establish a strategic Bitcoin reserve. The reserve will be capitalized with Bitcoin owned by the federal government that was forfeited as part of a criminal or civil asset forfeiture proceeding. If somebody's wondering like what this means, the U.S. has, a lot of crime. And if the U.S. were to, arrest somebody or a group or an organization that is involved in illegal activity that involved cryptocurrency, they basically, the person who's involved in that illegal whatever forfeits their Bitcoin or Ethereum or whatever it is. The U.S. government takes it over, and that's what they're talking about here. It is estimated the U.S. government has about 200,000 Bitcoins, 198,000 now. They did compare this to like Fort Knox, which I didn't understand having the U.S. Strategic Reserve compared to Fort Knox. Just like 3 weeks ago, they were talking about how they don't think the gold's at Fort Knox and they want to go down there and check it out. So I didn't really get this connection, but all good. And then it says premature sales of Bitcoin already cost the U.S. taxpayers $17 billion. The secretaries of Treasury and Commerce are authorized to develop budget neutral strategies for acquiring additional Bitcoin, yada, yada, yada. And here comes the sentence that really, stuck. I don't even know what the best word to describe this, but let me just read it to you. In addition, the executive order establishes a U.S. digital asset stockpile, which I'm going to show you which exact assets are in this stockpile. The government will not acquire additional assets for the stockpile beyond obtained through forfeiture and proceedings, which means the US government is not going to actually buy any other crypto. They're just going to hold on to the crypto that they've already confiscated. The purpose of the stockpile is responsible stewardship of the government's digital asset under the Treasury Department. So Scott Bessent, Treasury Administration. I have a clip from Scott Bessent, which actually will blow your mind here. And it says President Trump promised to create a strategic reserve of digital assets. Promises made, promises kept, right? Cool. So here is Trump signing that document yesterday. Let me play it for you.
Signing. This is very historic, an executive order establishing a strategic Bitcoin reserve and digital asset stockpile. This is a promise that you made throughout the campaign, and today we're keeping that promise. The reserve will be capitalized with Bitcoin that the federal government already owns, so it won't cost taxpayers a dime. This is like a digital Fort Knox for digital gold. And premature sales of Bitcoin over the past years cost American taxpayers over $17 billion in lost value because we didn't have a long-term strategy.
Right.
Now we do. So.
And this is something you believe in?
100%, yeah.
Okay.
And the whole community believes in it.
Very good.
So this is something you believe in. I thought it was something Trump believed in, but all good. Then, this was 5 days ago. This is what got everybody excited. And what, the person that commented first about, YouTubers or content creators, how can you blame us for being bullish on this and reporting on this news, right? This is Donald Trump's, I think this is on whatever social media, I can't remember what it is that, it's Trump's own social media company, says the U.S. crypto reserve will elevate this critical industry after years of a corrupt attacks by the Biden administration. There was, in fact, a lot of corrupt attacks by the Biden administration. So that's a very fair point. He says, which is why my executive order on digital assets directed the presidential working group to move forward on a crypto strategic reserve that includes XRP, Solana, and ADA. That includes. Now, if you listen to David Sachs, the same guy that I played the first clip for you, if you listen to him in this clip, this is today's news. Listen to what he is saying.
Of the American people.
Just going into what's in the holding of the US government, going back to what President Trump mentioned over the weekend, talking of Ripple, Solana, other alternative coins that people are wondering whether they're going to be included in this stockpile. Will they? Does the US own them? Why mention them by the president?
Well, the president just mentioned the top 5.
The president just mentioned the top 5. There was no plans to actually have those as it. Listen.
Cryptocurrencies by market cap. So I think people are just reading into this a little bit too much. He just mentioned the top 5. In terms of what we'll actually have, again, we have to do the accounting. We're not sure sitting here today whether the federal government owns any of these alternative cryptocurrencies. We know it owns Bitcoin.
Okay, really quickly. You are the crypto czar of the United States. You have been in that job since Trump took office on January 20th. It has already been a month and a half, and you don't know what the U.S. actually owns. Does anybody else see a issue with the crypto czar not having any clue what the fuck is actually going on? Excuse my language, but I'm a little upset here. Let me continue this.
I believe it owns some Ethereum. I'm not sure about the other ones. This is why we have to do the accounting, is that, to be honest, no one's been able to give us a straight answer yet in terms of what the federal government owns. And this is part of the problem, is that we've never really had a digital asset strategy before. And this is why we've, missed out on accumulating a lot of value for the American people.
Okay, really quickly. So, this, when you're signing an executive order, usually the people around the president have an actual plan and know what's going on before executive orders are signed. Does anybody think that should be differently? Should we sign executive orders and then go figure out the plan, or at least understand what cryptos we have? I just don't get it. And then you have the Treasury Secretary on, Squawk Box or whatever this is, admitting to the American public they have no actual plan. In fact, they don't even know where the cryptocurrency is that the U.S. holds. You won't You won't believe it. Listen.
Okay, Bitcoin. The reserve. Supposedly there was disappointment that we're not going to be buying Bitcoin outright using taxpayer dollars. But if we can do it in a revenue neutral way, we would. Number one, were you a proponent for the reserve? And two, is there a way to buy Bitcoin, not just acquire it through, I don't know, however we've gotten these.
Really quickly, guys, there's 1,500 of you here, which means you care about what's happening here. If you can like the space, if you're on Twitter, share it, please. Let's get like 3,000 people in here. I think we deserve to understand what's going on here. And I'm going to tell it how it is. I am not here to kiss anybody's ass. I am going to give you the facts on the ground, and you take that information and you do what you want with it. But this is what this whole chat is going to be about, the facts on the ground. All right. Let me continue. This is the guy that's in charge of the Treasury Department. Okay. This guy's, I don't know if he's a billionaire. I think he's got $500 million, right? Let me play this for you.
$17 billion worth at this point.
Yeah. So, Joe, I am a big proponent of the U.S. taking the worldwide lead in crypto. I think we have to bring it onshore and use our best practices and regulation. I think that the Bitcoin reserve, before you can accumulate it, you have to stop selling it. So what we have now is from a seized asset pool. And I wasn't there when it happened, but I believe what happened was about 500 million of Bitcoin was seized. Half of it was sold. And what we have now that, say it's over 10 billion, 10, 12 billion, that's all through appreciation. So the first thing to do is to stop the selling. So we are going to, after the victims are paid and all of that.
Okay, so for the first job is to stop the selling. Okay, we got to pay the victims. If there's any victims in these cases, we got to, the reason they've sold some of this Bitcoin or whatever it is to pay back victims for restitution if they were affected in some way by the crimes that were committed, that the U.S. government was able to attain either this Bitcoin, Ethereum, BNB. I'll show you all the assets in a second. But listen to this next part, because this is gonna send you over the edge.
Any seized assets will go into this reserve, and then we'll see what the way forward is for more acquisitions for the reserves. And we're starting with Bitcoin, but it's an overall crypto reserve.
Right. So how do you think about buying though, and how should taxpayers think about that? Because effectively we'll be levering ourselves to some degree, given that we don't have a surplus of money right now to make these investments.
Yeah, so that's why the first step is to stop selling, and then we're going to put a plan in place from there. So
the first step is to stop selling, and then we're going to put a plan in place, after that. Okay. So you have the people that are in charge of this are telling us all there is no plan just yet. We're going to, we're going to sign this executive order, but there's no actual plan behind what happens next. All right. Like this, I literally spent 2 hours trying to make a video earlier. I was shaking because I lined up all this information, and it just this is blatant bullshit to me, right? How are you going to tell us that it includes XRP, Solana, and ADA when this was not, this is not real? It's not real. And you have Charles Hodgkinson's reaction. Hold on. Here's Charles Hodgkinson's reaction. It says, founder Charles Hodgkinson says, we must never forget the reason why cryptocurrencies exist today is so that we no longer need governments. We can transcend them. That, my friends, is what we are really here and what we're trying to do. Listen to this.
We must never forget the reason why cryptocurrencies exist is so that we no longer need governments.
Okay.
We can transcend them. That, my friends, is why we're really here and what we're really doing. Policy helps us get there, but ultimately we have to make a decision. What do we believe in? Do we like what we have, or do we want to change?
Do we like what we have, or do we want to change? Okay. So check this out. If you're asking Sensei, what cryptocurrency does the US government own? It's crazy how I can find this information on Twitter, but the US government, the people that are in charge of this have no clue, right? Okay, so just to go over this with you, and I'm going to tell you where these cryptocurrencies reside from, right? Because when I first heard this was a U.S. strategic reserve, right? We wanted to support U.S. companies, right? I heard that over and over again. That's why all kinds of U.S. related cryptos were pumping, because the industry understood that the U.S. was here to support its own, right? Make America great again, not make China or Switzerland or Singapore great again, but made America great again. So Bitcoin, we don't know where it came from. Origins unknown. Ethereum, it's from Switzerland. Vitalik Buterin and his whole posse wanted to avoid American, American laws and things like that. So that Ethereum is based in Switzerland, not American. Wrap Bitcoin, great. BNB, where do you think BNB is from? Right? It's not from America. I think it's either from, wait, let me see. Let's find out. Where is BNB? Where was BNB created? What country? I think it was either Singapore or China. Give me a second here. With my frustration through today, I have literally forgotten more information that I should have. Binance is initially based in China. Okay. Moved to Japan before the Chinese government restricted cryptocurrency, but this was actually based out of China. All right. So we understand that most of the cryptos here are not American. Okay. Tron, not American. Uniswap is in fact American. Link is in fact American. And does anybody still trade Sandbox or whatever? Does anyone care about Sandbox? So the only two cryptocurrencies that the US is actually going to physically own is $2 million in Uniswap and $1.6 million in Link. All right. That is what you're dealing with there. So, the current president, Trump, is actually let me line this up for you. Here it is.
Sitting around this table, and it's an honor to have you involved.
So this is the crypto scummy. Here's Scott Bassett, the guy that says we don't have a plan yet. Here's David Sachs, the guy who also has no clue about what's going on. And then here you go. You have Trump in the middle.
But we want to stay at the forefront of everything. And this is a very important day in your lives. I know you worked, some of you, very long before people really understood what was happening. And so I congratulate you. But this is a big day. Being in the White House is a big deal. And you have great support. Thank you all very much.
Okay. You also have... I'm kind of skipping ahead here. So like here is the round table. The table kind of extends over here. I think Brad Garlinghouse is sitting in this corner here. I mean, you have a lot of players around the space. Here is, you know what? I'm going to call him an idiot from Coinbase. Brian Armstrong. I don't really like Brian Armstrong. He only cares about Bitcoin. He doesn't care about other crypto assets, which is crazy because he runs the biggest exchange in America that sells all of these assets. You would think you would be for other assets and not just for Bitcoin, but he's sitting next to Michael Saylor. I guess that makes quite sense. So here is a little bit longer clip from Trump. I am not going to play this whole thing. I will give you a taste of what he's saying, and then I will post the link. And we have a lot of other stuff to get to here. And then I will get to how I think this will all come together.
White House Digital Assets Summit. I know that many of you have been fighting for years for this, and it's an honor to be with you at the White House. I want to thank the White House AI and crypto czar David Sachs, Treasury Secretary. This is David right here, in case you don't know. You know David. And man is doing a great job as Secretary of Treasury. Scott Bessent, who's right here. Scott, thank you very much.
At least Trump knows who people are. I think that's a good step in the future, maybe.
Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick, wherever you may be, Howard. Hi, Howard.
All right, so he introduced all these people that are sitting around him. It is a lot of really incredible people. Here's Brad Garlinghouse sitting next to the gentleman who owns or runs Chainlink. I can't remember this gentleman's last name. I think his first name's Andre, and then I can't remember his last name. But I think this is these gentlemen are sitting next to each other. They've started working together. If you remember the news from a few months ago, that Ripple was starting to work with Chainlink. the reason Chainlink is so important is if you're talking about DTCC to settlement, Chainlink is a vital player in the settlement of securities and information on blockchains. And so I want to see these two guys sitting next to together and working together. You also have more information coming to the, Michael Saylor and Brian Armstrong. We did talk about that. Here are legitimately the real cryptocurrencies that are that are built by American companies. I don't see any plans to add these or being able to buy any of these for the U.S. Strategic Reserve. So what I want you to sit down and think about here is how can the U.S. get its hands on some of these assets without buying them? There's really only one solution that I see. Well, obviously there's two solutions. One is obviously if the U.S. finds out about any illegal activity that involves a company or a gang or whatever you want to call it, whatever, that is, holding on to or taking XRP, Solana, Cardano, or any of these other assets, and then the U.S. government goes and seizes their assets, that's pretty much the only way that the U.S. government is planning to add these assets to the U.S. Strategic Reserve. Now, the other realistic thing that I think is Ripple is going to have to gift the U.S. government XRP. That is the only way I see this going forward. And I think it's a reality of what is about to happen. Okay. Now, I'll go on record saying that this is the way that I see it. And we'll know in a month or two if I am right. But I think if we take all of this information that we just looked at, the U.S. government doesn't have a dime to spend on cryptocurrency. If you want to be able to raise money to spend U.S. government funds on crypto, you have to go through Congress and the Senate. Those are the houses and the Senate in the United States that will procreate money for the crypto reserve. But then you have to get both sides in a room and agree on how much this is going to be and what you're going to be spending this on. I'm not saying that that is not going to happen, but it won't happen anytime in the next maybe 6 to 12 months. The U.S. is going through some major adjustments right now, I guess you would call them. You have unemployment ticking up. And if you didn't know this, if you weren't here in the last Sensei chat that I did, I need you to understand something really quickly. Atlanta Fed first quarter projections. You need to see this. This is something that, I talk to my dad every day, and I'm not going to really get into too much about my dad's, what he thinks and what he's about. I can tell you that he's complained on multiple days that his stock portfolio is down, 10,000, 20,000, whatever. The stock market has been falling over the last few weeks. And also the first quarter growth for the U.S. is now negative. Actually, they revised this a few different times. On February 28th, they revised this to a negative 1.5% growth in the first quarter. They actually raised this from 1.5 to 2.8 negative growth in the first quarter. This could be some stuff left over. Just to be fair to both sides here, this is obviously some stuff left over from the former administration, but this is also decisions that the current administration is making on the economy. So these are the things that I look out for, because if retail, which is me and you, don't have enough money to pay our bills, let alone buy something very speculative like crypto, this is going to give you a sense of if the market's going to be heading up or down over the next few months. So this is what you should be paying attention to. All right. All right. More stuff. Oh, damn. I didn't bring that up, didn't I? I was talking about this. I do apologize. Atlanta Fed. There actually is some, here you go. Oh, damn. This is revised again. Atlanta Fed forecasts nearly negative 3% GDP growth the first quarter in the U.S. So we understand when it comes to GDP growth, if we have 2 negative months, back to back, it is considered a recession. Technically, under the Biden administration, we did see when it was like COVID times, 2 negative quarters back to back, and they didn't call it a recession. So I don't think they're going to call it a recession this time either, but it's something to keep in mind, especially because we are investing in very speculative assets until those assets are used in our financial system, and then they are not. Here is, I've seen this guy all over. He's got a pretty big following. I just want to play this for you.
Good evening from the crazy crypto markets. Breaking news this evening. Trump just signed an executive order for the Bitcoin reserve. The market is completely disappointed at the moment because turns out they're going to buy 0 Bitcoin. That's right. Instead of buying any Bitcoin, they're simply going to add the 200,000 Bitcoin that has already been confiscated from criminals and other people and just hold on to them. So 0 additional Bitcoin being purchased, and everyone's saying, what the hell? You didn't buy my bags. It's just sending Bitcoin down, crypto down. Everything's dumping at the moment. Just a serious amount of disappointment. To be honest, this is actually still wildly bullish in the long term. But unfortunately, people are overreacting because everyone just wants Trump to buy their bags. Well, that's not going to happen. There is a separate area, which is not the reserve, which is going to be used for actually purchasing other digital assets. But how they're going to accomplish that is not completely clear just yet.
Because remember, there is no plan just yet. All right. So listen, long term, obviously this is good, right? If we zoom out outside of the US, China is now making moves towards Bitcoin and the crypto market. You have the UAE starting to get into assets. It was crazy. Like, hold on. UAE UAE crypto custody XRP Solana ADA. I'm trying to find a specific article that I had in a video that here you go. No. US Strategic Reserve. God, it was the was it ENB Bank? No, ENB ENB Bank. I think is it ENB? ENB Bank, leading financial institution, not been explicitly mentioned. No, it's not ENB Bank. All right, I can't remember the bank. But you have other players around the world starting to buy these assets too, which is important. So here you go. China and the Middle East. This is what I was trying to get to. Countries are considering Bitcoin buying strategy as well as other crypto assets.
Talking to Brian Armstrong last night ahead of this summit today, and he's one of the members who's been advising the Trump transition team since the campaign trail, and he made the point that he thinks a lot of countries are going to follow. I know of already Middle Eastern countries, Gulf states that have been looking into a Bitcoin buying strategy. There's also reportedly conversations within the Chinese government to look to follow suit if the government in the U.S. makes this move to roll out a purchase plan.
But there is no purchase plan.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I mean, if you have a strategic Bitcoin reserve, China used to be one of the epicenters for Bitcoin mining. It's very easy for them. They have all of this hydropower, and so they already have all the facilities, and they banned it a couple of years ago, but it takes nothing to turn it back on. And then, similar to Iran evading sanctions by just mining Bitcoin, they already have it on hand.
Right, but
so, there is this big conversation happening right now, all while this is the crypto market that we are currently sitting in, right? Like, there's a lot of positive things happening for growth. Some things should be buttoned down a little bit better. And I get it. I am frustrated. I get you are frustrated. But we have to look at the overall health of what's actually happening in the rest of the market. Great for Bitcoin. But what happens to every other asset that you are currently owning that is down minimum 35% to up to 84%, right? Pepe, Floki, right? Like, these are more, scandalous coins. But anyways, you guys get it, right? Elron Gold here. Who remembers that from, 2021 bull market? I remember owning some of that. ICP, all of this stuff is in the toilet right now. Now, with bad news, we need to look at, where are we going to go from here? I wanted to take some opinions from some other people that I consider trustworthy in the crypto space. And I want to see like what Jimmy Valley is saying and a few other people. So let me see here. So Jimmy Valley is saying Ripple needs to be below 20% on the eighth basis for the XRPL to be deemed decentralized under FIT 21. This is exactly how I would do it. Look to Ripple to continue holding around 18% of XRP following this deal. It says I have no inside information. So what he's thinking is that the Ripple is going to gift, about 17 or maybe 18 billion XRP to the U.S. government. This is kind of the thoughts that I think Jimmy Valley is having. You also have digital asset investors said, I asked Grok AI to pretend he was Donald Trump. He says the ultimate deal maker. You know what? I'm not even going to read that shit, dude. I'm just so pissed off that there's no freaking plan. Let me just keep going with this. There is some significant whale transfers of XRP. This is 150 million XRP worth almost $400 million from an unknown wallet before, sent, I guess, right before the crypto summit. One does start to wonder if Ripple will start piecing off parts of the, escrow to the U.S. government. I mean, that's really the only play here left for Ripple. If the U.S. government isn't going to actually buy the assets that they said they were going to buy, all we have is for, these companies to gift it. I know it's not what we were all looking for. Also, Elon Musk was mentioned, he was sitting here when this strategic Bitcoin bill was signed. He hasn't said anything that I've seen about it. I thought that was interesting. You have digital perspective. Brad Kimes basically says, if the U.S. government won't actively look for ways to purchase more of assets in the stockpile, and the U.S. Treasury is responsible for stewardship, how does the U.S. Treasury obtain these assets? And why would the U.S. Treasury need stewardship from over these assets? Did the U.S. government just suggest that XRP, Solana, and ADA and ETH will be deemed systematically important? Did Brad Garlinghouse, Stuart Alderati work out a deal for a portion of the escrow? I think that's what a lot of people in my similar positions think right now. I came up watching Brad, digital perspective. I like Brad Kimes over digital asset investor. I think it was just a taste in, what they put out, but I don't know. Who did you guys come up on? I know a lot of you are watching my channel. 2,600 of you are hanging out. What's up, guys? You know what? Let me go to some of your comments here. I want to see the reaction. I don't even know where to start here. All right, guys. I'm going to start fresh. So if you have a comment that you want to get in front of me, now's the time. Let's talk about where we're heading. What do we think here? Patience. Crypto capital of the world doesn't mean just hold 200,000 Bitcoin. I think you're absolutely right. We need to hold all kinds of different assets. Keep holding. Hopefully things will get on the move in the right direction. Roxanne, I agree with you. What else are we going to do at this point? I think we've had a whirlwind of a week. We all thought this was going to go a certain way. I mean, I was walking around with a chip on my shoulder. I was walking Luna the other day. I was feeling great. The energy I had yesterday before I read that news from David Sachs, I wish I could have bottled that energy up and really had that energy full time. I was killing it yesterday. Lots of comments. I know, Ariana, thank you for trying. Fucking disappointing. Glenn, I hear you, Glenn. I wish I could show you I just can't do it. Like I said, I tried to record a video about all this. It took me 6 tries to calm down. The first try, I couldn't even get to the end. I had to stop recording. I was shaking. Let's see what else you guys have. They will sell Bitcoin and crash the market and then buy more and rinse and repeat. You think the government has... So hold on. Just so we're clear here. The government doesn't have any plan. You think they are going to forward think crashing the market to buy more? I'd say maybe you're right, but I think history has shown that sometimes the Trump administration doesn't put too much thought into some of the policies that they are putting forward. That's just what I've noticed in the last, 8 years of dealing with this. Wizard says he's running out of patience, man. I feel you, Wizard. I feel you. What is Dan saying here? This is all about the lawsuit and it continues. So listen, I don't think the lawsuit is actually still going on, guys. Like, did you not see the video I put out? Hold on, let me try to think where this video is. It hasn't been edited yet. You know what? Let me pull up Trello. You know what? I have something. Wait. Mark Ueda. I can solve this for you in just a second here. Mark Ueda was on yes, here it is. Mark Ueda was on Fox News. Okay. Really quickly. Oh, wait, is this the same clip? I think this is it. Hold on. Okay, I think this is the clip. Okay, I want you to watch this. So I know you're frustrated. Okay, but listen to so this guy currently is the head of the SEC. Okay, now Mark Ueda is basically admitting to you what cases they are dropping and what cases they are not dropping. Listen. All right, hold on. It's not the one I want. It's not the one I want. Hold on. I need the one from yesterday. This is it. Sorry about that. We have stopped the probes that don't involve fraud. Okay. Nowhere in the Ripple case is there anything to do with fraud. So if you listen to the guy currently acting SEC chairman, he's telling you that they dropped the Ripple case. All right. So, I mean, I get the frustration, but I think that more people didn't pick up on that verbiage. I haven't seen too many people talking about that. If you can't stop politicians and bankers from stealing the money. So like, also, this is something serious right now, right? Like, you know, without getting too political here, they are cutting a lot of, spending inside of the government that is supporting like farmers and things like that. They are making a move. Like when you have an administration that has more billionaires in it than just like regular people and people in the government, that is going to lead heavily in making laws and things for those billionaires to make more money. So I don't know. Take heart. These people will always have a plan. Man, I really hope so. Trump tweeting big things today, but we got was terrible press conference. If you watched the first few minutes of this chat, I line it all up for you, man. I can't take anything Brian Armstrong says seriously, to be honest with you, man. I think the guy is just a tool at this point. I mean, look when Coinbase first launched. If you go back to when Coinbase went public, the entire C-suite of Coinbase dumped hundreds of millions of dollars on stock on general public buying in. Like, I just don't like that. I just don't like it. Should we sell our XRP? I'm not going to sell my XRP, man, because the U.S. government doesn't have a plan to buy XRP. I'm not going to sell my XRP. Listen, I get that one thing can make you incredibly frustrated. Lord knows I am there today. But we can't delete all of the other information that we've come to understand around Ripple, XRP, and the future infrastructure of all of this. It might not be happening on our time schedule, but it still doesn't mean it's not happening, right? So can't do it. This person is saying $100 XRP first target, sell 30% of your bag. Man, I'd love to get to $10, let alone. Yeah, we did talk about this, Manny. Go back to the very beginning of the chat. You will see I go into all this, my friend. Thank you. Just joined. Does anyone seem dissatisfied with what happened? Chris, man, if you watch the beginning of the chat, I get into all of this. And yes, we are highly frustrated. I mean, there's 2,600 people in here. We usually have about 1,000. So people are pissed off. Yeah. Trump tweeted is going to pump backs 10K%. I think if we have any, like here, I think learning from this, this is Trump tweeting, right? And then 5 days later, walking it back. So can you really trust anything that he's actually tweeting or saying? I think that's kind of silly to look at your point like that. I'm just coming at you with, I can't agree with you, man. I think you can't trust them. There is this person saying there is always a plan. There's not a plan. They've admitted as much. Guys, please. Anybody who thinks there's a plan or anybody thinks that, there's some good stuff happening, just go watch the beginning of the chat. I literally lay it out for you. The Treasury Secretary, there's no plan. The crypto czar, no plan. The crypto czar doesn't even know where America's crypto is. Guys, there's no plan. All right. I'm going to get back to the news here because people are just, y'all need to really, really market forces a level playing field. I do think you're right, Timothy Wilson. Buying XRP, guys, listen. All right, let's make this clear. You need to do whatever you think is right. All right. I am at a position where I believe that XRP is going to be worth a whole lot more 5 or 10 years down the line. I can't tell you what XRP is going to be worth tomorrow or a week from now or a month from now. I just know from making 950 videos on XRP over the last 3 years that I'm not going anywhere. You do what you need to. I'd highly advise you to talk with a financial advisor or somebody that knows about crypto before doing anything that serious. Tariff payments in crypto, dude, tariffs are a fucking horrible idea. They're crashing let me show you what tariffs are doing, dude. Here, this is what tariffs are doing. Who thinks this is a good idea? I mean, seriously, this is 1.15 trillion wiped out yesterday in the stock market because of tariffs. If you think tariffs are a good idea, you obviously don't know what tariffs are or anything about tariffs. And obviously from the reaction from Canada and Mexico, the US is just, just to be clear here, the first Trump administration worked out a deal with our two largest trading partners. It was Trump's deal. He's going back on his own deal. Does anybody else not see that? I get people worship the guy. I understand that, but you also have to understand that the gentleman has had 6 or 7 bankruptcies in his life. He might not be the best person to decide fiscal policy for an entire country. All right. I'm not trying to shit on anybody here, but that is the reality of what you're dealing with. So just please understand that before everyone just starts opening their mouth about it. It is not an ideal situation. Holy shit. There is too many comments for me to deal with. All right. I'm just going to get back to this, guys. There's a lot more other stuff that we need to talk about. So let's get to it. All right. So we talked to Jimmy, we talked about this, right? There's a lot of people that still believe, Ripple is more committed than ever to a simple goal of making XRP the world reserve currency, right? I still truly believe that in my heart. The day that my opinion changes on the matter, guys, I will tell it to you straight. All right. I built this whole channel on telling you straight, whether it's good or bad for the things that I personally believe in. So I want you to understand that I still wholly believe in XRP and Ripple. All right, let me keep going here. There's still some other stuff here. You do have World Liberty Financial buying the same assets that, actually, this is hard because, CoffeeZilla did a video on World Liberty Financial. It's not Trump's World Liberty Financial. Trump is the face of it. They're paying him quite a lot of money to be the face of it. But this is actually this is a carbon copy of Aave, basically. As you can see here, Chainlink, Ethereum, wrapped Bitcoin, Chainlink, they actually own some Ondo here. I don't know why they're holding $13 million in USDT. These people are crazy. USDC, and they own about $9 million in Tron. Okay. You also have Linda P. Jones, who's actually been a very big believer of Ripple and XRP. Says this has been planned for a long time. This is talking about a financial system that creates economic opportunities, non-bank financials, fintechs, innovations. And then this is a report under the first Trump administration to Donald Trump. This is Steve Mnuchin, the acting secretary. And so here is Steve Mnuchin and Craig Phillips, Ripple board of directors, right? So, you know, I still think that the Trump administration needs to figure out a way to pay off debt. If you watched my most watched video, guys, here, let me show it to you real quick. If you haven't seen this video, I actually get into the math of paying off US debt with Bitcoin. And let me tell you that it is harder than you think. The US has about $36 trillion in debt. And if you wanted to pay off, here, let me just show you this video real quick, and then I can get into the details around it. Let me see how far it's gone down here. Oh, yeah, here, we're getting close. We're getting close. I'm looking for 200,000 plus views. Here it is, 251,000 views. All right. I made this video a month ago, and I think you should watch this video if you haven't already. I'll link it to you above here. But here, I get into all of the details around this. Melissa, we're all disappointed. Love, I feel you. Trust me, I feel you. What I want you to understand here really quickly, guys, is you would need, okay, so the US's plan was always to have 1 million Bitcoin, okay? So now that we understand the US can't even buy more Bitcoin, right? They're stuck with basically 200,000 Bitcoin. If you wanted to pay off, God, I'd have to do this math really quickly. It might be a little bit more difficult to do it in my head. Hold on. You would need 36 million times 5, right? Because you have 1/5. What is that? So 5 and 30 million is 150. Then you have, so it's basically like 170. You would need Bitcoin to be at 170 million per Bitcoin for you to be able to pay off the US's debt. That was the plan, right? Pay off US debt with Bitcoin. It's just not, it's not in the cards anymore. It wasn't in the cards before, but now it really isn't in the cards. All right. What I wanted to show you, what I was reading to you is this. This was the first, this is by Linda P. Jones. This is the financial system that creates economic opportunities, non-bank financials, fintechs, and innovation. This was under the first Trump administration. As you can see, there was serious connections between the Ripple board of directors and the current U.S. Secretary of Treasury, Steve Mnuchin. Currently, this is Scott Bassett's job, and he has connections to Ripple through a few other partnerships as well. I wanted to show you some other XRP news now that we've kind of gotten the frustration out. We take a deep breath, as my wife tells me, what she says, smell in the flower, blow out the candle. You know, I tend to run hot sometimes. And so that is by way of my wife calming me down. And so I pass that on to you. Let me play this.
It feels like the floodgates are going to open this year, doesn't it? I mean, so within the past week, a couple weeks, so SAB 121 being called back or rolled back. And I mean, within, it felt like minutes, you know, you hear from CEOs like Bank of America saying, we're all in. And, you know, these are institutions that I mean, Bank of America was one of our early partners when we were doing kind of like the messaging software only payment solution. So we've worked with these types of banks for a long time, and the lack of clarity, and I mean, I think in the more recent time, even hostility toward, hey, like, you know, using these assets and this technology is not okay, it's dangerous, which is not the best way to handle it, as we would say. But looking forward, I would say, yes, it seems like there's going to be a sea change this year. And even I could say post-November, the US election result, even just the ongoing conversations we've had with banks around being reserve bank or transaction banking partners for the stablecoin or for our payments business, like the banking partners for the stablecoin.
Listen to this really quickly, because like I know we're all upset about some stupid, you know, what happened today, but I think we need to look towards the future. I'm going to calm everybody down, and we're going to listen to this little piece here. Okay, listen to this.
Banking partners for the stablecoin or conversations we've had with banks around being reserve bank or transaction banking partners for the stablecoin or for our payments business. Like the tone and message changed overnight. Like it was quick.
Okay, so what we do know for a fact is there are good conversations happening with banks all around the United States right now about working with crypto and infrastructure. Okay. This is something that like we need to take notice of, right? I get we're frustrated with today's events, but all we can do is move on. All right. We got upset. A lot of us expressed our frustration. Now let's move on and think towards this, right? So listen, if the Trump administration goes and they, pass no tax or capital gains on, US cryptos, because let's be honest, right? Their whole goal here was to help US companies. And since we've seen what cryptocurrency that the US owns, they only own $3 million in US cryptos, right? So they can't really help US companies by buying crypto. They have no money to buy crypto. So how can they help US companies? Well, the current regulation around crypto and around banks and crypto has changed. That's a good thing, right? Ripple's had more business deals in the first few weeks of the new Trump administration than the last 6 months, right? I played that clip by Brad Garlinghouse a ton on this channel. I know for a fact. Okay. So the frustration today I get, but I think 6 months, 12 months, 18 months down the line, I think we're going to be a lot further, right? Remember, we're going to get stablecoin regulation first, right? They're supposed to be working on that March 10th, the week of March 10th. And then hopefully we're going to get a market crypto bill like Mika. But remember, how long that bill goes into effect is a big deal, right? Because Mika, European Union's crypto bill, that was passed April 2023. It didn't go into effect until end of 2024. So is that going to be the same time that we're going to have to wait for regulation in the US, or are they going to push it forward and through? Personally, I think they're going to push it forward and through. Here you go. Just in, this was earlier today, 11:20 a.m. my time. This is about 2 hours ago when I was putting together this chat. $100 million in crypto has been liquidated in the last hour, 73% of which was Bitcoin, 73 million Bitcoin, 10 million Ethereum, 3 billion in XRP, 14 million in Solana and ADA. As you can see, Solana and ADA dumping was a lot harder than XRP because I think there's just a lot of people that believe XRP has a higher value when it comes to these types of things, right? If you look at the partnerships that Solana has, like Solana, what is Solana known for, guys? Solana is known for making cell phones that people would normally not buy unless they're getting free crypto, right? I've never seen anybody in public that has a Solana phone. I guess I've not been to any like Solana events, but I've never seen anybody hold a Solana phone. Also, like ADA, Solana and ADA are really not looked at working with financial institutions. So I think there is some good things to gather from this, but it is what it is. Cryptocurrency exchange Kraken is readying to go public as soon as the first quarter of 2026. I think you should also understand this. There's a lot of people that think Ripple is going to IPO in 2025. I don't think those people are paying attention. Brad Garlinghouse and other people at Ripple have already come out and said that they're not going to launch in a market that is going down. I showed you an image earlier of what the current situation is in the stock market, and losing $1.5 trillion in a day. Ripple is not going to launch. So even Kraken is looking to go into 2026. They're already looking out an entire year out. You also have BitBoy talking with Fox News, I guess. What does the world come to? Here you go. It's a shitty clip. I do apologize. This is the only one I could find of it, so I'm just going to play it.
Ripple. What's the story there? I believe Ripple will be the most explosive coin in the next few months. As soon as the SEC lawsuit is over, all my sources are saying that we will get a settlement between Ripple and the SEC, and this will lead to a huge price explosion, as basically Ripple will no longer, or XRP will no longer be considered a security, and all of the suppression that happened on the first half of this bull run do the lawsuit, it'll be over, and we will get a true explosion for XRP.
Oh shit. You know what? I just recalled I left something in the freezer. I'll be right back. Don't leave. We got 2,831 people here. I will be back in like 20 seconds. Let me just go make sure my Red Bull didn't explode in the freezer. 1 second. Stay there, Luna. Stay there. All right, guys, listen. Truth be told, the highest amount of people we have ever had in a chat is 2,900 and some change, and we are about 100 away from that. So what I want you to do right now, if you love my channel, if you love my content, I know it might not love today. If you can share this chat or like this chat, wherever platform you're watching from, if we can get over 3,000 people in this chat, I will lose my shit. Okay. So I really appreciate if you can help me out with that. Now I'm going to answer your questions, guys. I think we went through a lot of news. Save us, Crypto Sensei. I am trying to save you. I'm trying to give you all the information that I have. It's tough. It's tough, man. I know we've had a really tough day. Vodka and Red Bull. It's not a vodka and Red Bull. It is just a Red Bull. And if anyone was wondering how long you can put a Red Bull in a freezer before it explodes and actually is still good to drink, it's about an hour. All right. I just figured that out. Red Bull to the moon. I hate crypto's piece of shit. I get it. Coding is power. I get it, man. I'm with your frustration. Oh man, people have lost money. Hold on. Yeah, I can't even see this. People have lost money listening to your channel, bruh. I talk about XRP. My channel is based around XRP, bruh. I don't know how you lost money buying XRP, but all good. She called out my comment. I'm famous as of now. Thank you for loving my content. Baby Fire Aloha. How are you? Good to see you. How you doing? You guys have any questions about what's going on? Yeah, there's some salty people. I get it, man. Like, people like to blame me for their problems. I'll take it, I guess. If you can like sleep better tonight, blaming me for whatever problems you're dealing with in your life, I'll take that blame. Any investment takes time. Like, I don't know how much clearer I can be on XRP for everybody, guys. Like I've told you, like almost in every one of my videos that I believe this is going to take years. Like, I don't think this is going to be, weeks or months. I also have been very clear that I do think XRP is going to reach $10,000. I think it's a matter of time, right? I think it all comes down to how quickly US banks will be able to use crypto in their infrastructure. That's what this is waiting for, right? And to do that, if you listen to like the CEO of Bank of America, if you listen to the CEO of BNY Mellon, they're all saying, if you give us the regulation, we will use crypto in our payments infrastructure. That's what they're telling us, right? And if they're connected to Ripple and Medico, we understand that this is their primary technology that these institutions want to use. Is it like rocket science to connect the dots on this? I don't think it is, guys. I don't think it is. Is Trump going to pay off debt with using XRP? So the only way the US could actually do this is if Ripple gifts billions of XRP to the US. And then if the US sets some type of price for XRP. Now, I've been trying to get like David Schwartz or Brad Garlinghouse or somebody like that to answer a question around, can a price be set for XRP? And I can't get a response. I guess the channel is not big enough. So I don't really know what it's going to take to get those guys to respond. Doge needs to investigate Trump's sons, World Liberty Financial. I don't think Trump or Trump's sons, it's not their company, guys. I'm trying to think of the CoffeeZilla video that I sent to somebody that gets into World Liberty Financial. They're just paying Trump and his sons to be like the face of it. It's not their company. I get the frustration, but I think it's a little bit misplaced. You only lose when you sell, don't sell. I mean, like, listen, guys, if your whole life is like folding upside down because of the money that you have in the crypto market, you probably shouldn't be putting the money in the crypto market. Like, it's super speculative, right? Billions of dollars have been lost to like scams and meme coins. Like, it is the Wild West. So like, whatever money that you're going to put into whatever token, be prepared to lose all of that money. I can't tell you how many times I have lost money that I put into a crypto because it was a scam. Eventually, the team lied. There was a hack. The contract didn't work. The technology didn't work. We are in a space where all of this technology is evolving. A lot of it doesn't have a place to sit in or a place to be. So, please keep that under advisement or whatever. I mean, man, crazy shit here. Let's see here. The Red Bull run will only happen after XRP utility goes live. I think we're not even close. Let's see here. Solar G court case could going to end payments, thousands of NDAs. I could go on and on. I think you're absolutely right, man. The case is going to end. My thing is this, like, if I already played a clip earlier today with Mark Ueda talking about that the SEC is dropped or has dropped all the cases that don't involve fraud. Now, the Ripple case never involved fraud, so why haven't they announced it yet? That is something that I find incredibly interesting. Final days of cheap XRP. Like, a lot of people are still very bullish on what's happening right now in the crypto space, as far as regulation, adoption, these types of things, right? I think this is, in life that sometimes we take a few steps forward and then we have to take a few steps back before we can go forward again. It's the same thing. Like, if you've ever been here, this is something that I think a lot of you can relate to. You ever been in the fast lane and you're just trying to get somewhere and you're coming up behind somebody that's going super slow, and then next to you, somebody also is going like the same speed, and now you're boxed in. And in order to go forward, you have to slam on your brakes or hit your brakes and then go around all that jazz. That is something that I've done a lot of my time in my life, and I think that's exactly where we are. Hopefully you guys can understand that. That is fucking right. Judge has no control of case till August. Damn, that would suck. But is that like, if the SEC decides to drop the case, does it really come down to what the judge says? I guess I don't know. I'm not an attorney. Ripple SEC case is settled and will be announced within the week. Yeah, I keep hearing that same thing, man. I keep hearing that same thing, and I really hope that's accurate. The top four, so Eric Sau, what's up, Eric? Good to see you, man. Eric's top four are XRP, Ondo, HBAR, and Sui. Man, Eric, I love your top four. I highly agree with you that those are probably some serious assets. Like, instead of buying Solana today, I'd be buying Sui. Like, we've been talking about Sui since 70 cents. If you've been in these chats over the last like 6 to 12 months, we've been talking about Sui since 70 cents. Ripple case is settled. Let's see, a lot of people believe that the Ripple case is settled. Man, how many closed meetings have we had though of this stuff, right? I can't tell you how many closed meetings that I've like, I don't know what to call it. I don't want to say I've reported on because I'm not a reporter, but how many times I've talked about this? So XRP is dipping because Trump had said on March 2nd that the US was going to be buying XRP, Solana, and ADA. Now, fast forward to today, we find out that the US actually has no money to buy any of these assets. And the strategic reserve for the US is just going to be in the assets that the US already owns. And the US doesn't own any XRP, ADA, or Solana. So that's what you are seeing. Okay. It seems like they're acting like if it's a TV show. I mean, this is, if you're not used to American politics, it can be like this, guys. It's never the way you want it to be. We give control to these people, and then these people do whatever the fuck they want. It is what it is. I think that's kind of all over the world. I don't think it's just a US thing. Institutions want to sell, and then they buy. I think US institutions are looking for guidance or regulation in order to sell crypto to people. I think that's coming. Yeah. I mean, guys, when you have an administration that's filled with billionaires, what do you think is going to happen, man? Like, it's not rocket scientists here, guys. Agreement reached. We'll see. All crypto YouTubers are liars. Okay. Wait, look at all crypto YouTubers are liars that think Trump, the con man, is going to save crypto. If you actually knew what I thought about this situation, I think you probably wouldn't have said that to me, but all good. I'll take it. I will take it, man. What happens if it's gifted? That's exactly what I was talking about, Johan. I was talking about that earlier, that the US could, the Ripple could gift XRP to the US, which I think is going to happen. I think that'll definitely happen. No judges rubber stamp, no official statement. So hold on. Did the judges and all these other cases drop the case too? Like, how did all of those cases get dropped within a week of each other or 2 weeks of each other? Those cases, I didn't see court cases happening with those. I don't think you're actually right about that, but I could be wrong. I don't have thick skin. My emotions live on my sleeve. I will do my best, but whatever. I am not perfect in any way, shape, or form. Please don't ever think I am. This is an appeal. Well, there's two cases, right? There's the appeal part, right, for the first stuff that was situated, and then there's the Brad and Chris situation that is still moving forward. There's two parts of it. Greetings from Edmonton. XRP will fly once regulations are passed. Everything else is just noise right now. John, I love you, man. Thank you for that. Appreciate you, bro. Raz, how you doing, man? What do you got to say? As far as true decentralized blockchains out there, the only one to meet that keeps jumping out is Digibyte. I haven't heard about Digibyte since 2021, man. I wouldn't be the right person to ask about that, man. Sorry. Sensei, it's all about that fine. Read my previous comments. Listen, man, Solargy, I wish I could read your previous comments, but I literally have like 50 comments like a minute right now, and I can't even keep up, or let alone find. Like, literally, we've probably had like 2,000 or 3,000 comments already today, maybe even more than that. I wish I could find your original comments, man. If you want to like message them to me, I'd love to just read them. Brad just tweeted. Hold on. All right, here we go. Brad Garlinghouse. Fresh news. Some weeks feel like months in crypto. God, man. He said it all right there. This was one of them. From White House Crypto Summit to the CFTC CEO Roundtable, and the sheer amount of news announced. Hooray for Nat Crypto Association. This is Stuart Alderoty's thing, I guess. I just talked about that yesterday in a video. It might be out today already. It's been quite a few days. There's been a lot of talk about what the White House has and will prioritize with their crypto agenda. Most importantly, regulatory clarity through congressional action, as well as Bitcoin reserve and crypto stockpile, support for stablecoin innovation, backed U.S. treasuries, and more, right? Okay. I just did a really good video about U.S. treasuries, guys. If you haven't seen that video, and if you want to learn all about why this is going to be a area of the market that can bring hundreds of dollars in price per XRP, it is definitely U.S. treasuries. The connection with Open Eden, the connection with Ondo and BlackRock, this is really a big priority for Ripple and its future. All right. Brad says, I was extremely pleased to see the incredible support from this administration. It's easy to get lost in some of the maxi-induced noise, but there's so much more to this industry than infighting and the one coin versus another coin wasting rhetoric. We will, as we have always done, continue to champion the need for a level playing field, and it is great to hear that others in the room echo this as well, and for the industry to come together to move much needed legislation forward in the U.S. An incredible thank you to Donald Trump for opening and welcoming us to the White House, amazing. Contrast the hostility of the Biden administration. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot of good things happening, guys. Obviously, I think that, you know, we all need to cool off. Everyone needs to go jump in a pool, unless you're in Canada right now, because some places in Canada can be like -40. I don't want anybody dying on my watch. So everyone just takes a deep breath. We are at 2,900 people watching. You know, I think we can move past it. All right. AO mentioned Bitcoin might sell to 60K. I mean, do you think it'll dip that hard? I don't know. Red candle tweet. Yeah, I can see there's some frustration in his chat, in his talk. What did this person say? Something about bullshit. Oh, did I miss it? What did Brad say in the tweet? We just talked about it. I'm in Canada. Okay, what's the temperature in Canada? That's what I'm saying. I don't want you to jump in a pool where it could be like -degrees outside. All right, that's what I was just trying to say. I don't want anybody hurting themselves. It's -30 outside. See, that's what I said. If you are in parts of Canada, don't do this. All right. If you're in Hawaii or somewhere sunny, go jump in the pool. We'll get through it together. Where does the value go up if gifted asking for a friend? So Johan, like if Ripple gifts XRP to the US government, it'll have nothing to do with price movement unless the US will take, so here, the way the price can go up by not adding a single dollar into XRP today is by lowering circulating supply. If there's less supply on the open market, the price will come up. And central banks, the US is in fact a central bank, the US government, central bank, they're going to do a lot of this through the US Treasury, right? And so a lot of this value, if they decide to hold on to it for years on end, will be taken off the open market. All right. And that's how the price of XRP could go up just like that. If in fact Ripple gifts the US government to hold long term, which I think that's what's going to happen. Crazy dump. Guys, listen, we've been through this. If you've been in the crypto industry a long enough time, dumps happen, right? We are a very emotional species. A lot of us will just decide to get rid of everything that we are holding and move on. I think there's a lot of other factors that are going into what people are doing and thinking today. So like, you know, just keep that in mind. All right. Let's see here. Well, this is something that I don't think any of us can answer. Why would Trump lie then about XRP being in the Federal Reserve and now backtracking on his word? You'd have to ask him, man. I don't know, bro. Trump dump. I think a lot of you kind of feel the way I feel on some of this. Like, it's frustrating, right? Let's see here. Thank you, Sensei. You teach me a lot over the year. I am first timer and learn to be patient and don't be greedy. Thanks for getting all the articles in Ripple XRP and so on. Hey, I appreciate the love. Thank you so much, man. Let's see what Chuck's saying here. He says, you think it's possible for XRP, ADA, and Solana to be you think it's possible that XRP, ADA, and Solana is going to give the government coins from the money people are losing? So Chuck, in order for that to happen, the US government would need to be buying crypto from people dumping crypto, and then they would have to sell that, right? There would need to be some type of monetary gain. The US has basically come out and said that they're not going to be investing any money into the crypto market. They're just going to take crypto that they already have from seizures and forfeitures, and that will be the strategic reserve. All right. So I hope that helps you better understand what is going on. Bitcoin wants the XRP tech. Obviously, man, Bitcoin was the first thing created. Like, oh God, there was such a good tweet that was like put out about this. If anyone's close to my age or a little older, you remember when we had, you know, cassettes for music, and then it was CDs, and then you could go onto a website and download music, right? LiveWire, Napster. Remember those days? And then you started downloading a bunch of crazy shit on your computer that you thought was music and it was something else. And then you had to like reformat the whole computer. Anyways, today you have Spotify and YouTube and all of these better ways to enjoy all kinds of music. So I think with payments and with crypto, I think there's always going to be an evolution in technology. And sometimes the first technology is not always going to be the best technology years to come. All right. Bam. Crypto Sensei, whatever is the outcome of today's meeting, it has nothing got to do with you. You are amazing. Awesome job. Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate you. So we're finding out that the Trump administration doesn't have the money to buy XRP, Solana, and ADA. I guess it was a mistake that Trump mentioned those. David Sachs, Trump's crypto czar, mentioned that that was a misunderstanding, that the US was going to buy XRP, Solana, and ADA. I have a feeling that one hand is not talking to the other. Like one person is not talking to the other. I think that like Trump, Scott Bessent, the crypto czar, they need to kind of get on the same page about what they're going to be doing, because I don't think Trump knows what David Sachs knows, what Scott Bessent knows, and everybody's kind of putting out a different message right now. But for the most part, they won't be buying the assets that we thought they were going to buy. How can you see XRP will hit 10K? That's crazy. I don't think it's crazy at all. I don't think it's crazy at all. Listen, I've shown this math 100 times in videos that I've done, and it is not crazy at all. Okay. Let this sink in. Ripple, when you're a bank, a central bank, or a financial market infrastructure, whether it's to do with crypto infrastructure, right? Payments, cross-border payments, or if it's to do with crypto custody or tokenized assets, XRP Ledger, Ripple, Medico are the best technologies on the planet, hands down. They have more banking connections, central bank connections, financial market infrastructure connections than any other crypto company on the planet. Okay. So there's $1.4 quadrillion in public markets. You're talking about stocks, bonds, derivatives, equities, real estate, debt. There's probably a little bit more than that globally. There's also private markets where we don't have an understanding of how much money is in those markets, but we have an idea that is probably, if not the same or more than what's in the public markets. This value, this quadrillions of dollars, is going to find its way onto blockchain, and it's going to find its way onto the best technology providers on the planet. It's going to find its way onto XLM. It's going to find its way onto HBAR, Algorand, XRP, and of course, Ondo, and probably a bunch of other assets too. But when you look at how many partnerships Ripple actually has, is it crazy to think $100 trillion or $200 trillion can't find its way on the XRP ledger over the next decade? I don't think it's that crazy at all. I also think the circulating supply of XRP is going to go through, not the roof, but I think it's going to go, I think it's going to go way down. Currently, the circulating supply of XRP is around 57 to 60 billion tokens, depending on how much people are selling. Through staking, the ways you can lower circulating supply are through staking, other forms of maybe AMMs long-term, US Treasuries, locking up XRP for an extended period of time, which is growing in popularity right now, as well as central banks and banks wanting to hold XRP long-term. Okay. It is not insane to think that the circulating supply of XRP can't dip below. You know what? Let me show you the math, man. Let me show you the math. Let me show you this, man. All right. You need to watch more of my content, but it's okay. That's why you have me live, to do this for you here. Let's bring up Perplexity. Let's say $100 trillion. $100 trillion excuse me, is added to the XRP ledger, what would that bring the current price per XRP to with today's circulating supply? All right, let's see if we can get a number here. Okay, here you go. Let me blow my nose. Okay, so this is with today's circulating supply, 56 billion, $1,700. Okay, so what happens? Okay, using the information above, if central banks and staking mechanisms are added to the XRPL, if the using this information above, and let me see, if central banks and staking mechanisms are added to the XRP ledger and XRP is taken out of no, you know what, I'm saying this wrong way. Using the information above, if central banks and banks decide to hold XRP long term, and the circulating supply of XRP is brought down to 20 billion tokens, how much is it per XRP? All right, let's see if it brings up this information. There you go, $5,000 per XRP just with this current math I've shown you on the screen today. Now, you're telling me that banks, central banks all over the world are looking to start hoarding crypto assets that they feel are going to have tremendous value in the future. You literally have Ripple and XRP connected to the global financial system. Is it so crazy to think that Ripple can't add more than $100 trillion over the next decade or whatever to the XRP ledger? I honestly think this number could be, 200 trillion, maybe more, right? Getting to a $10,000 XRP isn't as difficult as people are making it out to be. It all comes down to circulating supply and how much value is added to the XRP ledger. All right. You have central banks, right? Listen, any central bank digital currency that is created on the XRP ledger, right? When you bring money from the real world onto blockchain, if you bring $1 trillion out of your economy's value and it goes digital, if you think the future of value, it's digital, right? The money is going to come on chain regardless of what we think. We understand that this is already being adopted in countries all over the world. Ripple is working with up to 30 central banks right now, right? And those are numbers not from me, from James Wallace, the VP of Central Bank Digital Currency. But you guys want to see something funny? Look at this. So you know how Ripple is like central bank digital currency, like they're one of the biggest technology providers for central bank digital currency. Has anybody checked Ripple's website recently? Because nowhere on their website does it talk about central bank digital currency anymore. You have Ripple Payments, Ripple Custody, and Ripple USD. Anybody else notice that? I just thought that was interesting. All right. I hope that explanation helps you and helps you better understand the way I think about this. But I don't think it's crazy, man. How old are you? Are you asking me? I'm 40. Napster until Lars got to it. Yeah, dude. I remember those. Those are good times, man. Good old LimeWire. See, there's people out here that know what I'm talking about. MySpace. Exactly. MySpace and Facebook. And now everyone who uses Facebook. I was talking to my mom earlier. My mom's like, she'll be 77 this year. I love you, Mom. And she was talking about that she was on Facebook earlier. And I was like, damn, I haven't used Facebook in like 5 years or something. Like, I don't know anybody that uses Facebook other than like my mom. So anyways, technology evolves and people are going to evolve with that technology. Let's say Crypto Sensei, whatever is the outcome of today's meeting, I think we did talk a little bit about that already. Basically, the U.S. government isn't going to buy any new assets. Nothing's really going to change too much. I think that's why you're seeing the market dump. I'd highly advise you to just watch the first 10 minutes of this chat. It'll give you a really much needed explanation. I just know there's a lot of people that have already heard me say the same thing 100 times already. So I don't want to get into it too much. Any comment on HBAR ETF? I think, oh, what's up? Go bless yourself. How you doing, man? I haven't heard any news about it. Let's see if we can find something about it though. Let's see here. HBAR ETF. This is January 5th. This is today. SEC acknowledges a canary filing for HBAR spot ETF. All right, that's some good news. We were talking about HBAR last chat, right? Let me see where today's current price for HBAR is. Let's see here. Hedera, 23 cents. We were just talking about this. I was showing information about HBAR. I think I skipped Tuesday's chat. So this was last Friday. HBAR was 20 cents then. We said that HBAR, if it broke some resistance, it would be heading to 25 cents. It played out exactly how we called it in the last chat. Played out exactly how we called it. Wow, it was higher. It's 28 cents. I think Hedera is a great asset to be having right now. Great asset. XRP to 10,000. I think it is, man. I just think it was. Let's see here. Rodney, what's up, Rodney? Aloha sensei. Why would Trump ever or even talk about XRP while they're still under the lawsuit with the SEC? Well, so a lot of us believe that, they haven't announced it yet, but they're dropping the SEC. I played a clip from Mark Ueda just a little bit ago that he's the acting chair of the SEC, and they're saying that they're dropping all the cases in the crypto industry that don't involve fraud. And nothing to do with the Ripple case involved fraud. So, I don't know, man. I think they're going to, you're going to hear from it soon. We hope. I mean, we're all hoping, man. They will flip the switch from the IMF that allows banks to use XRP. I mean, that's what we think the future holds. Since you are awesome, thank you for what you do. Really appreciate you. Free speech. Hey, thank you so much. It's an honor. If you would have asked me, 3 or 4 years ago, if, I'd be making videos that had 70,000 views a video, I wouldn't agree with you. I'd say that's probably not me. But, I appreciate all the support and the love. And if I can keep learning and growing and teaching you guys what I'm passionate about, I hope that carries over into your everyday life and you can go teach 10 people in your life about, this exciting thing that we love, right? It's crypto. I believe the lost funds from the U.S. funding Ukraine war that is unaccounted for has been fraudulently put into Bitcoin. Glenn, I know that there is a lot of talk about money missing. I know the number is not as high as Trump says. I think he thinks it's 500 billion or 300 billion. I don't think it's that high, but there is some money missing. So I think that'll have to be found. I have not heard anything that money has gone into Bitcoin. You would think if money went missing, it would just go, we wouldn't know where it went, right? Because it's missing. So we'll just have to see, man. If Trump keeps going, Trump keeps going, dump the market, crypto will never pump. Franklin, I think a lot of people share your frustration. And, what are we going to do? CFTC makes us rich. How's that, Lizard? Trump knows what he is doing, giving everyone time to access crypto. Man, Glenn, I really hope that is the truth, man. Brad is not in Washington because nothing is happening. Brad is in Washington. If you're broke, get a job. Damn. Tell it how it is, I guess. Let me just scroll down here. Let me see here. There's so many comments, guys. I wish I could answer every single person's comment. Let me get to like what people are talking about right now. Today's crypto summit is a part of the plan to shake us out of XRP. I mean, a lot of people feel that way, man. I can understand where you're coming from. And I think that all of the stuff, all the negative stuff by Bitcoin maxis and you know, listen, if you believe in the future of crypto, right? If you listen, like, okay, let's pretend all the information that you know about crypto, just put it all aside for a second, right? Don't listen to any YouTuber, don't listen to anybody on Twitter. Go to the CEOs of, you know, BlackRock, Bank of America, BNY Mellon. All of these institutions are telling you that the future of the stock market and the bond market is through tokenization of those assets. Now, one of the best technologies in the world to tokenize assets is the XRP ledger, because the XRP ledger has a built-in DEX into it. You can trade any asset for any other asset on the planet. Hello. Some people, I just don't think people understand what XRP was designed to do. Like, it is designed to be the world's ledger for value to be transacted on, right? And they have private ledgers for banks and central banks. They have public ledgers for retail. BlackRock is buying XRP. I wouldn't be shocked if BlackRock is buying XRP. Let's see here. Not surprised XRP wasn't mentioned. Lawsuit not officially over. And there are NDAs that were signed. John, you know, I think we're all kind of just, some of us believe that it's over because of some things that the SEC chair has said. I just don't think they're announced yet. I personally think it's over. I don't, because like Trump ran on being different from the Biden administration. If the Trump administration continued to sue Ripple, you're talking about millions of Americans that basically he's lied to. And I just don't think that he wants, I think Trump does consider himself as like, you know, this bigger than life figure. And he is in a lot of respects, in a lot of circles. And so I think he's going to live up to that promise. And I think the cases are already done. I think they are, man. I think this is what Elon wants to do, right? He wants to fire everybody and replace them with robots and AI. I mean, you know, that's the plan. Sky is the limit for XRP once the SEC's case is over. But guys, remember this, right? You guys got to remember something. Okay. Yes, you will get a pump when that is announced, but you're still not at adoption yet. It'll just be a pump, right? Maybe it'll be more than a pump to like $5, $10, but you're not talking about $100 or $500 or $1,000. You need adoption for that, and you just don't have that yet. They're trying to sweep us out. Super whales, sharks, dolphins, fish, crabs. I love it. You're right, Crude Dog. They are trying to get us out, man. See, like, this is what I'm hoping. Trump could revalue gifted XRP. Yes, like low. This is like, I've been trying to get this question answered. You know, let's do this. Let's do this. Let's build a tweet. You want to build a tweet together? Let's build a tweet. And let's direct it at David Schwartz and Brad Garlinghouse. Okay. Since the man, how do I write this without sounding like too frustrated? Some days it feels like we take 2 steps forward, and 1 step back. The US doesn't have the money to buy XRP, Solana, and ADA. The real question is, is, will XRP be gifted? Will XRP be gifted to the US government, right? If XRP is gifted to the US government, can Trump set a price for XRP? Is that how we should say it? I mean, I don't think anyone's going to respond to this, but how about coins like Pepe? Or, I mean, Pepe is down like 80% or something like that. If you're still holding Pepe, good luck, man. That's going to be tough. What do you think? Is this how we should write it? You need another Red Bull, put some vodka in it this time. Yeah, man, you don't want me drinking on stream. That would be real bad. I get really red and I get loud, and you wouldn't want that. All right, let's just see here. So this is Brad Garlinghouse. Some days it feels like you take 2 steps back, 2 steps forward, and 1 step back. Or here, some weeks it feels like we take 2 steps forward and 1 step back. The US doesn't have the money to buy XRP, Solana, and ADA. The real question is, will XRP be gifted by the US government? If XRP is gifted to the US government, can Trump set a price for XRP? Can Trump set a high price for XRP? The goal is for the US to pay off its debt, and we can't do that if the price of XRP is at $2.50. All right. Any guidance? I doubt they will answer this, but let's find out. Boom. All right. There you go. We'll find out. Not Trump, the president. Trump is the president, guys. I mean, like, he just became the president. He's the president for the next 4 years. I don't care what happens in 5 years. I want to know what's going to happen tomorrow. Okay. Like, it's Trump. Trump's going to decide on that. Like, that's what I want to know. I don't think they're going to answer that. Like, even if they could answer that, could you imagine David Schwartz coming out and saying, yes, you know, if like, I think the validators, it would have to come through the validators, right? Like, if all of the validators decided like XRP should be at a certain amount, could they in fact, you know, let me ask Perplexity. You think Perplexity would know? Let's ask. Let me find out. Where is Perplexity? Here you go. Okay. Could the US president decide to set a price for XRP other than the current market price? Let's see. Sorry, let me share this tab. All right. The US president does not have any authority to unilaterally set a price for XRP. Maybe I should have done this before I tweeted. Or any other cryptocurrency. Cryptocurrency prices are determined by market forces, including supply and demand, investor sentiment, and global economic conditions. However, the president can influence market and dynamics. Influence on market dynamics, regular policies, president. Okay, can XRPL validators help set a high price for XRP if they all agree on set price? No, see, look, they can't even do it either. XRP validators cannot directly set a specific price for XRP by agreeing to it. The price of XRP, like other cryptocurrencies, is determined by the market forces. So there's our answer. Man, maybe I should delete this tweet. I'm going to actually delete that tweet. You know what? Hold on. There's something in here I want to keep, though. Let me rephrase this real quick. Oh, I can't even do that. You know what? I'll do this later when I'm on my free time. Too bad they're opening the door for other countries to take the lead. I mean, Molly, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right, Molly. It is sad. It is sad. Like I really thought the U.S. was going to start leading, and you know, they are and they aren't in some ways. I think maybe I hoped for a lot, and I think you hope for a lot too. Let's see, Richard. What are you saying here, Richard? Ask yourselves, what did Brad and Stewart talk about in their meetings over dinner? Don't think Brad and Stewart didn't show Trump how XRP could save the US dollar. Maybe they chatted about golf. Richard, you're probably right, man. You're probably right. And you remember that, like, after that meeting, Trump was using the terminology level playing field, right? So okay, hold on. And this crypto sensei dude literally just stated half an hour ago that the U.S. government will not buy crypto. The U.S. government will not, like, hello. Like, do we need to play the clip for you again? Here. If you didn't read this whole thing from the crypto czar, let me frame it up for you one more time. Okay. The reserve will be capitalized with Bitcoin owned by the Federal Reserve or government that was forfeited as part of a criminal or civil forfeiture proceedings. The U.S. is not going to spend any additional money on these assets, man. Like, what are you saying here? This executive order underscores President Trump's commitment to making the crypto capital of the world. I want to thank Trump's leadership, blah, blah, blah. The purpose, here you go. The government will not acquire any additional assets for the stockpile beyond those obtained through forfeiture proceedings. Like, what else did you need to read to understand that the U.S. is not going to be buying any crypto assets? What I'm saying is factual. What the problem here is the lack of knowledge that you have about the subject. Man, we got a donation. 50. Is it $15? Appreciate you, Joshua. Let me see here. Joshua says, awesome. Well done, Sensei brother. Used to be only 50 people in this chat a few years back. Stay strong. I know, man. I know. Hey, Joshua. Thank you, man. I appreciate you. I do put a lot of time and energy in, and it's an honor to be growing with you, Josh. So thank you, man. Really appreciate you, bro. We look like Democrats. I mean, some of us in this chat are Democrats. Some of us are independents. Some of us are MAGA. Doesn't matter what we look like. It matters what it is and what it isn't. Like, we can all fight over, like, is that real? Is that not real? It's the crypto czar who's stating that, right? And like everything that they're doing, like, just to show you this again, like, here is David Sachs on air. Like, I showed this earlier, but here, let me play it again for people just now joining us.
Of the American people.
Just going into what's in the holding of the US government, going back to what President Trump mentioned over the weekend, talking of Ripple, Solana, other alternative coins that people are wondering whether they're going to be included in this stockpile. Will they? Does the US own them? Why mention them by the president?
Well, the president just mentioned the top 5 cryptocurrencies by market cap. So I think people are just reading into this a little bit too much. He just mentioned the top 5. In terms of what we'll actually have, again, we have to do the accounting. We're not sure sitting here today whether the federal government owns any of these alternative cryptocurrencies. We know it owns Bitcoin. I believe it owns some Ethereum. I'm not sure about the other ones. This is why we have to do the accounting, is that, to be honest, no one's been able to give us a straight answer yet in terms of what the federal government owns. And this is...
All right, there you go, man. There it is, straight from David Sachs's mouth, that the U.S. doesn't even know what cryptocurrencies they own. Bitcoin for criminals. I mean, you're not too far off, man. Bitcoin is the Napster. XRP is Pandora. I love it. I love the reference there, man. Good stuff. Brian, appreciate you, man. Thank you so much. You have a wonderful weekend. Thanks for the love. Just catching up. What's up, Rhino? If you're just catching up, man, it's been a rough day. It's been a rough day indeed. Can the president set a crypto dollar like he had the petrodollar? I guess, Glenn. I mean, we just found out that the president or the validators cannot set a price for XRP. But obviously, if the U.S. came out and said, like, XRP is going to be used in the payments infrastructure for the U.S., like XRP, you could use XRP in FedNow, which is U.S.'s new instant payment system. So, I mean, I wonder if some cryptos that are acquired could trade them for XRP. Chris, you could be right here, but the issue, Chris, is that the U.S. would have to sell the assets that they do hold to buy XRP. And they've already said that the whole goal here is to hold this long-term, sell it after 5 or 10 years and pay down the debt. So I get what you're saying. I mean, I agree with you. That's a real possibility. I just don't know if that's what they're going to try to do, man. Ripple fines paid by XRP. Well, Julian, like, that's another thing that could very well happen. The issue here is, the Ripple case, the SEC has already come out and said if it doesn't involve fraud, they're dropping the case. They dropped like the consensus case and every other case. Why would they force Ripple to pay a fine when they dropped all the other cases? Like, I just don't. I hear what you're saying. I just I think Ripple itself is going to have to gift the XRP to the U.S. government. I think that's the only way to do that. I knew when I invested in crypto that the market was going to be volatile, but I feel you, dude. Dace, that's a cool name, Dace Miller. I like it. I feel you, man. Hold on. The reason to go ahead and implement a crypto reserve and stockpile is because it doesn't need congressional approval. That's true, but you need congressional approval if you're going to spend money to buy other crypto assets. And the way that this was framed, right, by just listening to Donald Trump's own tweet, right, it doesn't say that, like David Sachs just said that, President Trump didn't say that the U.S. was going to buy these assets. He said that Trump was just mentioning these assets. But here's the tweet. Read it for yourself. Presidential working group to move forward on a crypto strategic reserve that includes XRP, Solana, and ADA. The fact is, nobody in the White House actually knows where the crypto is and how much crypto the U.S. actually has, which is part of the problem. New here to the channel. What's up, Chris? Nice to see you, man. Welcome. Hope you're doing well. Dude, I love your videos. Very upset, though, because basically XRP is out. Hey, thank you for your support. We've been talking long and hard about XRP being in or out, and it does suck, but I don't think this is kind of where we're going to end up. All right. A stockpile is not a reserve. Sylvia, that is also, is that, a stockpile, a reserve? I think it's the same thing, isn't it? I don't know. I think it's the same thing. A gift of value to be used or passed on with a value, especially if it solves a problem. Yeah, I think we all want to see XRP do well. Yeah, we read one here, Robert. I got you, man. I got you, brother. Here, I think it's right. Here it is. This is the tweet from Brad. Here you go. So Brad Garlinghouse, they put him in the corner. No one puts baby in the corner. Damn. Some random people here. Okay, so here is the tweet. Here is the information. Some weeks feel like months in crypto. This was one of them, from the White House Crypto Summit to the CFTC CEO Roundtable and the sheer amount of news announced. Hooray, Nat Crypto Association. This is Stuart Alderoti's thing. It's been quite a few days. There's been a lot of talk about what this White House has and will prioritize for the crypto agenda. Most importantly, regulatory clarity through congressional action. This is the most important sentence right here, guys. I think like we're all getting caught up in like the US buying or not buying like XRP, Solana, and ADA. I mean, this would be a huge step forward if that was actually legitimate, is what was said. But I think we just need to like be pissed off for the day, wake up tomorrow with a fresh attitude on all of this, as well as Bitcoin reserves and crypto stockpile support for stablecoin innovation backed by US Treasuries. This is a big part of it. I did talk about that just recently. I was extremely pleased to see the incredible support from this administration. It's easy to get lost in some of the maxi included noise, but there's so much more to this industry than infighting and one's coin versus another time-wasting rhetoric. We will, as we always have done, continue to champion the need for a level playing field. And this is great to hear others in this room echoing this as well, and for the industry to come together to move much needed legislation forward. And then he says, thank you to all of these different people. So that's kind of where we are at. Oh shit, I didn't give you here. Let me show you this. This is the tweet I just read to you. Sorry that I didn't have it on there. I always have to remember to move it over, and sometimes I forget. ADHD. All right. Man, I feel like we could go back and forth. Brad Garbage House. Listen, guys, it's not Brad's fault, man. Like Brad, I saw pictures of Brad earlier today when this news was coming out, and he looked a little pissed off. I don't imagine he knows or knew that this was going to go the way that it did. Maybe he did. I don't know, man. But like, it's not Brad's fault, dude. You know, I get people are upset, but Sensei brother Josh, what's up, man? Hope you do an XRP party when XRP hits $200. If XRP hits $200, man, I think we're gonna go. We'll either have to figure out where we're gonna meet up. Like, is it Vegas or is it like Miami? I've never been to Miami. Well, actually, I guess that's a lie. Not since I've been an adult have I been to Miami. I think I went to. I remember as like a kid, it was like I was like my first plane ride. Maybe it was like 5 or 6. My mom took me to Orlando, but that's not Miami. I guess I've never been to Miami, so I'd love to go. I'm not going to read it, but I agree with you. All right, guys, listen. I love you all. I want you to have a great day. If we keep going back and forth on this news, no one's going to be able to just move on. I want you to take a deep breath. I want you to know that you are still on the right track. We are going to have some days that we feel like we're moving forward, and then we take 2 steps back. But just understand, it doesn't change a thing. It would have been great to have the US buying XRP. It doesn't mean other countries won't, though. The European Union has already said that they won't add Bitcoin to its reserves. So what assets will it buy as its reserves? And I think that's something we should start paying attention to. I really appreciate all of you. I love you. I want you all to have a great weekend. Thank you so much for making this such a great chat. I really do appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you so much. Bye. Thank you, Ariana, and every other mod in the chat. Appreciate you. Bye, guys.